you guys hear me okay? Probably not. Just trying to figure out how to get Jake to join. I don't know why it's being difficult. Can you guys hear me? Can anybody just tell me if you can hear me? I've never had such an issue with Facebook Live. Can you hear me, Jesus? If I said that right? Awesome. I put Jake as a co-host, so he should just be able to just join. I'll use my computer to message him. Okay, this has been a bit of a rough start, so I apologize. It's our first time doing this, and we were not exactly prepared. I don't know why it's... There we go. Got it. Yeah! Yeah!
All right.
We did it! We did it!
I had to open it up on my phone. It seems like that was the only way I was going to get it to work.
Oh, I was wondering, yeah, if you were trying to do that on your... Oh, shit. What was
This
that?
kind of thing is easier on the computer, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I got
All
like
good.
47% on the battery, so we'll make it work. We'll stretch it.
7%?
47%.
Oh, I'm at 41.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it would have been a no bueno if I was at 7%.
Yeah.
But anyway, hello, everyone. I am Jake. I am the long-lost brother of Sabrina.
My favorite brother.
Yeah, well, I hope I would be your favorite brother. Anyway, though, yeah, Sabrina's, I guess the first thing we should start with is our unique relationship. So we were born less than a year apart. So by technicality, we are considered Irish twins. So nice little fun fact.
It's kind of, yeah, it's a cool...
Get the ball rolling a little bit. But,
yeah.
Yeah. Her and I are the two middle kids. And we had this idea of, well, I had, I guess, the initial idea of starting a podcast. And I brought it up to Sabrina, and she was all for it. Because I feel there's so much for us to say. And it's not going to be able to all be discussed in one live stream. So we want to make it more of like a series. Something, that we can gradually update as we learn more about everybody and about our family history and beyond that. Hey, Heidi, how's it going? Nice to see you. But, yeah. So anyway, I know Sabrina kind of warmed things up, so.
Yeah, I mostly just went on a rant about DHS and how much I hate them. So nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
But yeah, so where do we begin? So I guess our first thing is we're trying to find a name for what we want this to be. And we're not exactly sure what yet, but we want to pay homage to our ancestry because we have recently found out, thanks to Sabrina, we found out a lot about our family history and how linked we are with Native Americans and their culture. And as we've gotten older, we felt ourselves kind of moving closer towards that understanding from like a spiritual point of view, which some might think, oh, you're just crazy. But no, this is legitimate things that we've experienced.
Yeah, and we can totally get into that stuff at some point,
A lot of crazy synchronicities that have happened in our lives. And
yeah.
That's a whole session right there. Just talking about that. But
and the dates of things. Oh my God.
It gets crazy. The more you hear, the crazier it gets. But yeah.
But yeah, the Native American roots.
Yep.
We were denied those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I grew up away from Nikki and Sabrina, or Nikki's our oldest sister, and my father did try his hardest to get custody of them, but it was not able to be done because they weren't his children by blood. I was the only one, so I was put into a foster care system right in Machias, with an older couple, and they, from what I understand, took pretty good care of me. I think I was there for maybe 6 months tops. I might be wrong or right on that. I'm not sure. But I was there, and Dad had to go and deal with custody. He had to go to court, fill out a bunch of paperwork to basically prove to
Crazy.
the state that he was capable of taking care of me and raising me, which he did. And I will always be grateful for the fact that he did that. So
Me too. Me too.
some could say maybe I was the lucky one that I got to be with my father.
Well, that's what I was saying before you joined, Jake, is that like you and I kind of go back and forth all the time of like, you had it worse, or like, no, you had it worse. Like we both just,
It's all based on perspective, because
yeah,
we have similar but very different experiences.
right.
You know, like because you had Nikki, and which obviously was a relationship of its own. But I didn't have any contact with you guys virtually whatsoever.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah,
have
not at all.
I might have seen my sisters maybe 3 times after we got split up, maybe three, maybe four. So yeah, it was everything was a big no.
Not even phone calls.
I think we had a couple. I think
Did we?
when yeah, when we went to go see you that one time, which was an unplanned visit, but I
Yeah,
think
that's how you had to do it with them.
I think we got your phone numbers, and I think I did call you guys like one time, and I spoke to both of you on the phone. But then after that, nothing. I
Yeah,
think
I don't
all
remember those. I just remember always carrying around your picture everywhere. Like I had a framed picture of you with your cat, Elmo. Like when you were showing me those pictures of you with
yeah.
the cat, I already knew the cat's name because like I carried that picture of you around everywhere. I brought it into show and tell one time and was just like, "This is my brother. That's like what I want to show." But then everybody was like, "You're weird," or I don't know.
Well, everybody's gonna have.
My adopted parents ended up taking the picture away from me, actually.
That's crazy. Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, this is where I feel really, really bad for Sabrina, is because forget about just the trauma we experienced when we were younger. Before we could even really be a kid. It got worse for her because
Yeah.
she was dealing with a lot of pretty ugly stuff that I'll let her share what she's comfortable with sharing, but it just went
Oh,
from
dude, I put it all out there.
well, either way, she went from
Yeah.
one bad situation to another bad situation.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that shouldn't happen, but it
whereas me,
does.
I kind of got into a better situation, but life growing up was always really weird for me because I just always had so many questions that I felt weren't being listened to. But I mean, yeah, what can you really say? And I would ask my father about Michelle, our mother, quite often. I mean, maybe not all the time, but every once in a while, just be like, where is she? Where's mom? And he just never really knew because, truth be told, he really didn't know. You know,
Yeah,
maybe he
that's
had,
true.
but, and he made it very clear saying, when he spoke to her about it, because I guess she got a hold of our phone number one time when we were in Hancock. She called wanting to talk to me, and he's like, nope, you can talk to him when you're clean and sober. That's what he told her. And which I can debate
The
on
tough
whether
love.
that or not, but regardless, that's just how it was. And Jake, all I can
Yeah.
see from your nose down on the feed, I don't know.
It looks okay on my screen. How does it
My,
look on everybody else's? Can everybody see Jake's face?
like not close up, but you can actually see like a full angle, full camera view. Yeah, you gotta love live streaming, right?
Let me go. I'm gonna look on my laptop and see how it pulls up
What's
there.
computer just to see if
We should next time we should use StreamYard.
yeah.
But this was the kitty. Jake has our mother's cat. Oh, you just said that's better.
Oh, wait, what'd you do?
Everybody says I can see. You just said it looks better.
Okay, well, I guess
But
I
yeah,
didn't.
Jake has our mother's cat, which is amazing.
Yeah, so
Angel.
yep,
Her name's Angel.
which is kind of a suitable name when you think about it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So after my mom, and this is stuff we can delve into a little bit later. But yeah, I'll get to the cat part first. So after she got out of prison, because she had to serve a prison sentence for I think it was like 8 or 9 months, about.
She got sentenced to a year, but she got out earlier for good behavior.
Yeah. Wait, only when he leaned to one
Hey,
side.
Joe.
Here we only see his nose down.
We
All right, go.
only lean to one side. When he sits straight, we can only see from his nose down. Okay, so you were like looking at your computer screen or something, Jake, and it seemed like that's what people could see you better.
Oh,
Maybe,
okay.
or no, maybe it was like that, just how you are right now. I don't know how to fix
I
those
mean,
settings.
as long as it's not a huge burden, then hold on.
Yeah.
I am gonna, because I don't understand why I couldn't get it to work on my computer. That's what I was trying to do. Because I felt,
I didn't try for mine.
because I'm on the phone, that was the only way I could join. Unless, I mean, maybe I could, hold on. I'm just gonna go to the feed here. Yeah, because I'm looking on my computer and like my top of my head is just gone.
See if you can just, do you have your phone on a tripod or what is it? Just see if you can just adjust it up. Tilt the camera up.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to. No,
Yeah, like that.
we'll see. Hold on, there's a little bit of delay on the computer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's better.
Yeah.
We'll work with it. It's kind of a funny angle. I'm not used to an angle like that, but we'll make do.
We'll
But
make
anyway,
do.
so I'm trying not to get too off track here.
Yeah. I was just gonna, do you have a beverage?
Do I have a beverage?
Yeah, I'm double fisting. I have coffee and water.
Oh wow, I.
Yeah,
Hell,
because we're both sober.
you got to drink something, so might as well be something. And I'll
I
definitely
was,
go over to that soon. But anyway,
yeah. No, it just popped in my head.
nah, you're fine.
What are you drinking?
Yeah.
I gotta have
So
coffee.
I have my coffee in the mornings. But anyway, so she got Angel as a kitten after she got out of prison, not long after, and I moved in with her when I was 17, almost 18. It was March of 2013 when I moved in. I was a senior in high school, my first senior year. And yeah, after Michelle passed, a little less than a year after that, I was kind of put into a weird position. So I took care of the cat as my own. And through all the ups and downs, I managed to keep her. And she's now 17 years old and she's still kicking. So,
It's awesome.
and she always told me that the love she wanted to give to us kids, she put towards that cat because she had to put her love to something. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Our mother also kept a journal while she was in prison. Not even really a journal, they were letters to Jake. And they are unbelievably painful to read.
yeah.
Neither of us, you haven't finished it either, have you, Jake?
Oh no, it's
Yeah. I
so yeah.
really
She
thought I
wrote
was
me
going to be
journal.
able to.
She wrote me journal entries when she was in prison, most days, and it was pretty crazy how many she actually wrote. And
Yeah. She almost filled that whole notebook.
yeah, she really, and I didn't really realize it as much as I do in recent memory, of how much she really did love us. She was just in a horrible position where she couldn't really do anything because she was being alienated.
She was completely backed into a corner.
Right.
And it all really started because of doctors. It's a big pharma crime, what happened to our mother. Our mother did not touch heroin until after she lost us. She had, from what I can tell, it seemed like she had a pill addiction for a couple of months. And it just immediately got really bad really fast. And she overdosed.
Yep.
Probably not on purpose, but who knows? She just had went through a divorce 2 weeks after her wedding. So it could, I don't know. She had that overdose and then immediately, 2 days later, DHS was just like, nope, not even a chance. She didn't even have a chance.
Oh, and yeah, and there's the more you dig into Michelle's life, the worse it gets. It seems to be, and the things you find out that happened to her, and part of what I consider, is kind of been our family curse is addiction. It's been prevalent for so many generations. This is stuff that Sabrina, through her digging and relentless research, was able to find out. And I helped a little, but it was
You
mostly
helped
her.
so much, Jake. You were like the backbone of really of the investigation because you had like so much insight that nobody else did.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what I could, and I shared what I could, everything that I could remember. And
It
well,
was basically like Michelle's life was a puzzle.
it was.
It was like I had to find all of the pieces and then find out where they go to
Right.
know what the deal really is with our family and why the fuck we all keep seeming to die of addiction.
Right. DHS has been a failed system for decades. Yes.
Goddamn right.
Oh, and there's
DHS has been failing our family since the beginning of its time. DHS has been ripping our family apart since the early 1900s. I have proof of it. We have proof of it all.
Yep. It's crazy. It's just how deep and awful those scars really are, and I didn't know how to deal with it for the longest time, and which led me down a very downward spiral for a long time. But I will make it as clear as day right now because I'm going to delve deep into it in a little bit here because I
Yeah.
think that's one of the main things about why I wanted to do this podcast. It's because we need to spread awareness at a level that most aren't willing to do. We go
Yeah.
outside the box. We're not just going to be like, oh, we were just addicts. Like, no, it's way freaking deeper than that, man. And
Yeah. We figured out exactly why we are addicts, and it's not a simple answer. It's a crazy tangled web. It's very complex, but we figured it out, I feel like. I
yeah.
figured out why I drank so much and did drugs. I figured it out.
And I'm still figuring it out, One thing I figured out, because, in drinking, it's a stereotypical thing, but it's also a very complicated thing. Like, yes, I understand at the end of the day, you make the choice to drink. Sure. Okay. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what keeps you drinking? Why do you continue to drink to a point where you just want to black out?
Yeah.
It's what they teach you in AA. Like, one drink is too many and 100 drinks isn't enough. It's the same idea. Like, my drinking habits, it didn't start this way. But when it got to its worst points, it would be from the moment I got up, like right away, within a few minutes, I feel like shit. So it's like, all right, I need to have a drink.
Yep.
Get my day started. And for the first part of the day, it's fun. For like the first couple hours, I'm just chilling.
First couple hours, yeah.
Yeah, like you're just chilling, watching funny videos or music or whatever. You just having a good time.
Vibing. You think you're vibing and just
Yeah, you're like, I feel like
just
fucking Superman.
chilling.
Oh, just or
Yeah.
Batman. Like
Morning mimosas. It's so fun. All
yeah.
that. Sometimes
Well,
straight up vodka, just straight vodka in the morning sometimes.
I definitely did that more than a few times, but yeah, the drinking for me, it started off fun, and then as time went on, it just, like the typical story that everybody says, you start to feel like you need it. Like now you're at a point where you can't get through the day if you don't have a damn drink. Or for me, again, it could never be one drink all day, mixing a drink. I always had a drink with me, whether didn't matter if I was going shopping, didn't matter if I had something important to go do, or if I'm just home alone chilling or whatever. I had to be drinking.
Going to work.
Yep, work. I worked for
Going
a year
to court.
For a year straight, when I worked at Hannaford, I was basically drinking all day. And a lot of people mentioned this to you, Sabrina, the other day. A lot of people thought I was just always in a good mood. Like I was just this happy-go-lucky employee, like when inside I was screaming,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So,
I drank at work too, but I was not the happy person. I was like, I'd go hide somewhere. I was a social worker at the time. So I'd find any reason to like go get in the car and like drive it somewhere. I was driving clients drunk.
Yeah.
And that was how I got done. What does this say? Speaking from thank you, Jalen.
Hi, beautiful message. Thank you.
Yeah, I was driving clients drunk. And that's how I got done, was because I was trying to get into the van with like 12, not 12, maybe 10 clients in the van. I didn't get fired. They actually told me I could keep my job, but I was so embarrassed.
Oh yeah, I
I
believe it.
quit and got sober. That I got sober and it lasted like a year and 9 months. And then I relapsed really bad. And that was the last relapse.
Yeah, yeah. For me, the common denominator was after Hanford. I just oddballed between so many different jobs, and they would start off okay, but then again, once I was in a bad place again, it would just be right back on the booze.
Or got comfortable enough to know if you could get away with the drinking.
Yep, and it was horrible. And at my worst points, I was hiding it.
Yeah.
I had to go to the hospital a couple times. The first time was more minor. It was just because I literally was basically not sleeping or barely eating. I started hallucinating, seeing really disturbing shit, and they thought I was going crazy. So I went and stayed in a place for a few days, and then I got out and I was fine. But the second time was very different, completely different ball game. So at
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
point, I literally was basically unable to function. I was so blacked out. It was to the point where Brad, the person that I live with, who's been a big part of my life, shout out to Brad, helped me out this
Shout out to
past
Brad.
year.
Thanks, Brad.
He was trying to get me to be like, all right, listen, you need to go to the hospital, because it was to the point where it was like okay, now I'm like a little worried about him.
Yeah.
I didn't fight them directly, but I kind of resisted wanting to go because I felt like I was okay when I was definitely not.
And just knowing that detox is what awaits you.
Yep. Yeah, they had to shut me
God.
down on that. Had to go in the back of an ambulance truck, and yeah, I barely remember any of it. That's how bad it was. But all I know is I woke up and they, of course, had to test my blood to see, and I had a 0.417 on my blood alcohol content.
Should have been a coma.
It should have been, but it wasn't for some reason.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, I think, the first major lesson that I was like, okay, maybe this is starting to be a real issue. Like, this is starting to not be fun. You're
Yeah.
almost dying from this. Like, all right, you might need to take a reflection. But it wasn't
Dude.
enough, And I went through this whole
Yeah.
program, 6 weeks of, what do you call it? It's like an aftercare type thing where I forgot what it was
Oh,
called.
they try to make me do that too. It's like outpatient.
IOP, intensive outpatient.
IOP. Yeah.
Yeah.
They try to make me too.
You do group meetings, and I was always
And
the star.
what would they have you do? Like color a picture or write a
Yeah.
list of your favorite flowers or something? I don't know. Nothing helpful.
But yeah, I went to every class. I didn't miss a single one. I went to
Damn.
briefly stay with my father, and it wasn't that bad. But as
Yeah.
time went, I just felt like I was kind of drawn away. I felt like I needed to take my own path, so to speak. And it wasn't because I had a problem with my father. Like, I do love him. We've had our ups and downs, of course, but
Yeah.
he's still my dad. But I couldn't live there. And that
No.
was a choice I had to make because I knew what was best for me mentally. But I also, I guess, subconsciously knew that that would open the door to eventually, if I wanted to drink again, I could. So, and what happens?
Uh,
Even a month after I got back, I get a job, woohoo! But then, what do? Get back to the
yeah.
bottle.
I like to, sometimes that's called self-sabotaging.
Yes.
You're in a good position, you have good people around you, and you're like, let's
Right.
just throw all this away. Now we can drink. I have to catch myself still,
Yep. And
it creeps in your head.
yeah, and then just for like the next past year, it was just me coming off of it for a couple months, getting back on it, stopping, back on it, and it's probably happened like 4 times the past year. And
Yeah.
and the last time, and by the way, I've been sober for I think 16 days now, I believe, since Michelle's birthday.
Yes.
I quit what would have been our mother's 50th birthday.
Super proud of you.
It wasn't necessarily planned that way. It just kind of worked out. So
The fact that you could quit drinking by yourself nobody around, go through withdrawal by yourself, unmedicated, and there was still alcohol in the house. That is fucking incredible. I could never do that. I could never ever do that. I always had to go to the ER. That was always how it went down for me, you know. I don't have that willpower.
Proud of you,
So
Jake.
you're strong.
Yeah, and I know you. Seems like I would kind of deny every time you said that, but looking at it now, it's like, why is it I've survived all these detoxes? Like, there's got to be something more to my life than just drinking it the hell away. Like, it's just because, like you said, at your worst point before you got sober, like, it's like you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you just look ill. Like, you
Yeah.
look like dying, and it's like, because you're literally poisoning.
You are. Yeah. Your organs are just like shutting down. I mean, by the time when I got sober, I was like a week 30. I had just turned 30 that week. And when I got into the emergency room that final time, they were like, you're just barely hanging on. They were like, your stomach is literally eating itself. It's deteriorating. You have no stomach lining. You're like 2 seconds from being paralyzed because you were so depleted of vitamins. Like, I remember waking up in the emergency room. It was like 2 a.m. and they were giving me a shot in my stomach. And I like went to hit her or something. It was like, why are you giving me a shot at 2 a.m? They're like, well, it's a vitamin. I'm like, don't give me a vitamin shot at 2 a.m. But then come to find out they were doing that to save me from paralysis. They didn't tell me that until later, but it's like, holy God. I mean, we both went through that. Like, when I stood up my first day into detox, I just fell over.
Oh, yeah. I tried to get up all that.
I couldn't walk for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. I couldn't walk.
Being in medical detox was very different. It was not fun. It was the loneliest, insomniacal experience I've ever had.
Oh my God. The sleep is impossible, especially when you do go to these detox places. Like, they had me out in the hallway on a stretcher with these bright ass lights, and all I could hear was like the nurse's station, all just tee-heeing and giggling. I like threw a fit. I was like, is there gonna be a fucking frat party all night, or am I gonna get some goddamn sleep around here? I'm in detox. Why am I in a hallway?
Yeah.
Then eventually they put me in the ICU, but it was like 2 days just being out in the hallway, and then they have a girl sitting at the end of the bed just staring at me 24/7. I tried to like pull the blanket over my face because I was like really embarrassed. Didn't want anybody to see me there.
Right.
And they were like, nope, we have to be able to see your face to see if you're having a seizure, if you stop breathing.
Yeah, that's the craziest
I
thing.
don't know.
I never experienced seizures. Like, the worst mental I ever experienced was just audio and visual hallucinations.
Oh God, man, I've experienced it all, and it all fucking sucks.
It was basically alcohol-induced psychosis was what was happening.
Yeah, I got that too, pretty bad.
It was a psychotic episode, which I've never experienced that since, because I never drank like that again. But I still didn't drink completely. So, because it's just not something you don't want to experience if you know you can't control your impulses.
Yeah.
Just some people literally cannot drink. Some people can because they don't have that problem. But someone like us, where addiction runs prevalent in our family, has killed so many of our family members.
So many.
Like, it's a very bad list. And
I should actually run those numbers and find out just how many.
Yeah.
It'd be scary to know.
Sure.
But you know what was crazy? So I'm looking through more journals of mine that I had, and I saw an entry where I was like, it was right before that last ER visit. And I had just left the ER because I was puking blood. And while I was there at that ER visit, they told me that I had to get sober or I was going to die. And they gave me Xanax to detox at home with. So I'm writing in my journal the next day saying, the doctor said I'm going to die if I keep drinking. Let's see if they're right.
Yep.
They literally told me I was going to die if I didn't stop drinking, and I still said, we'll see about that. 2 days later, I'm back in the ER, like just barely hanging on by a thread.
Yeah,
But
and for someone like us, we hate being told we can't do something. You
no
know,
doubt.
even if it's a horrible thing and they're completely right. You know, like we'll put up a blind eye. We just
Yeah.
give a shit, and yeah, I don't know. At this point in my life, I felt like I've drank as much as I literally can before he kills me. Like
Me too.
I can't do it anymore, and and I know we actually talked about this a long time ago. It's kind of a sad period in a way because it feels like you're breaking up with something that's you thought was there for you for a long time.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a grieving process in a way, like not even just the breaking up with the alcohol, but also you're grieving your old self. You
Yeah,
know, the things you used to do, or even the people that you used to hang around. Your life changes when you get sober, and it's not always just a big happy event. Like there's still grief.
there's a lot of highs and lows that come with it, and
Yeah,
you have to do a lot of self-reflecting, and you have to admit, where you were wrong, people that you might have hurt emotionally because of it, and yeah, you have to deal with everything. Something that alcohol tries to encourage you to not do. Alcohol just doesn't want you to deal with anything. It wants you to be in hell every day. You know.
it wants to get you alone, and it wants to kill you, and it will do it very, very fast.
Yep.
Maybe not for everybody, but if you're drinking, I mean, a fifth a day, it's
Yeah.
gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you.
Booze, and it's not just booze. Like any hard drug, any kind of
Yeah,
where it takes a toll on your body. When you see it with all the opioid crisis and everything, and fentanyl. That's a scary one.
fentanyl. The fentanyl is the worst. It's in everything now. I mean, I wouldn't even dare touch cocaine today. I mean,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
everything's got fentanyl in it. I wouldn't even, dude. I worked. Well, I did at my internship at the Suboxone clinic. So we
That's,
had to drug so we had to drug test people.
yeah.
Every single person that came in, first of all, who thought that they were doing heroin, they actually were doing fentanyl 100% across the board. And a lot of people were like, um, we did something where we tested weed off the street, and it had fentanyl in it. I can't remember where it came. Like one of the clients brought it in, and we tested it, and it had fentanyl like sprinkled on it. So
Wow.
I wouldn't fucking touch anything on the street anymore, but unfortunately, just as I said about my drinking, someone told me I was going to die and I still kept drinking. The same goes for the fentanyl. You can tell people that just a grain of that stuff, the tiniest amount can kill you, and they want it. If you tell them that it'll kill them, they know it's a good high. It's like, I don't know. Addiction is definitely a secondary problem, and I'm very interested to see the numbers of kids who were pulled out of their homes by DHS and the correlation to addiction today, because I guarantee it's a huge number.
And like I've mentioned before in the past when we've talked about it, there's already problems in effect that are going on before it ultimately leads to that relapse that I've noticed. Like it's not. I know trigger is one way to look at it, but I think it's a little deeper than that. Because for me, it's not just like I just decide, oh, I'm just gonna drink. Like no, it's a process
Yeah,
where, all right,
yeah,
emotionally, I'm being bothered by something or someone or whatever. Then you start entertaining the thought, like, okay, maybe I could just drink a little bit, or and yeah,
that's how it
but,
always was for me. I'd be like, it's just going to be one.
yep, and
Never,
for
ever, ever was. It'd be a year later.
me, I think it's hell, like, but then I can't stop because I've already put it back in my system. And
Yeah,
it's yeah, like I said, I was on a 2-month binge before I quit this last time. So, but after knowing that it kills all my jobs and any career aspirations or the future I want for my streaming, because yes, I have a Twitch channel, and that's what I spend a lot of my time.
yes. Should go check it out.
Yeah, Zaleeve on Twitch.
Zaleave.
But it's yeah, you have to learn to understand your addiction because alcohol or any drug for that matter acts as a catalyst to just propel everything it forward. Like if you're dying, alcohol is going to speed it up. If you're feeling bad, alcohol is going to make you feel angry or anxious or upset. Like it's just
Yeah. I
it's
always
painful.
felt like I always felt like alcohol gave me permission to show my negative emotions. It
Yeah.
was like, okay, now I'm drunk, so now I can cry and not feel bad about it. But then I
Exactly.
wouldn't stop crying and I would keep crying until I had a gun to my head.
It's almost as if you got addicted to feeling like shit in a
It
way.
was it was an attempt to avoid all of those things I was crying about,
Right.
but really, like you said, it just got amplified. It became all I could think about to the point of making me suicidal.
Right. And that's like the big difference between, me and you and our sisters to a point, I suppose. It's like I've never had that tendency, but I also know, like, well, maybe you kind of were because the amount I was drinking. Like, any of those times you could have overdone it once and that would have been it. You would have woken up.
That's definitely a form of self-harm, 100%.
But I was just in denial that I was hurting myself because it made me feel good. At least sometimes it did. And you care more about the times that
Yeah,
make you good than the times that don't. You like to focus on the good. Forget about the 99% of it that's bad. We're just going to focus on the 1% that makes you feel good for an hour. You know?
yeah. And I mean, honestly, after a while for me, it had nothing to do with feeling good. It just had to do with staying alive because I knew that if I didn't get my next drink, I was gonna probably die of withdrawal. So
Withdrawal.
being afraid of not having alcohol is way scarier than being afraid of how much you're drinking. Like the fear of not having alcohol around, it was a constant loop, a loop and just a draining battle, a never-ending battle.
You worded it the best way I've heard anyone explain alcoholism. It's like having a full-time job with no benefits.
Yeah.
Like,
Full-time job, 24/7, 7 days a week, get your fix,
you know,
keep the withdrawals away, try to survive, try to live till tomorrow. That was my goal every day. Just try to live until tomorrow. Maybe.
the one day.
And if I don't want to, there's a way out.
Yeah.
And that's what I did at the end of my drinking because I had talked to my adopted father on the phone and it became way too much for me. And he said that he was on his way out. He was like on his deathbed. And I was like, I'm going to beat him there so that I don't have to deal with this. So
Yeah.
that's the last thing I remember was just taking like a champagne bottle and just like, then
Yeah.
I woke up in the ER and everybody fucking hated me.
Yep.
Ugh, God, it
Crazy.
was the worst. And I just was like, the nurses are like, do you want your phone? I'm like, fuck no, dude, keep that phone far away from me. I didn't turn my phone on for like 2 days.
You know,
Didn't tell anybody where I was or what the fuck was going on.
just yeah. So hopefully, if anybody is in here, obviously a lot of people sometimes they just have to learn for themselves, and I respect that. That's how I
No
had to.
doubt.
I had to go through it on my own terms, I suppose. Because it's just who I am. I don't know if maybe being a guy, we just deal with things a little differently. But
Yeah.
either way, I was confident in myself. I knew I was going to go through hell. That those first couple days. Because
Yeah.
the first day I literally cannot sleep. Like I
Oh
am,
my God, no way.
and it gets worse towards like midday because then you start getting those shakes. Your body is rebelling.
The tremors.
Like I had to take my dog out that first morning.
Ugh.
That was the longest walk I've ever taken him on in my mind. That dog
I
fall on the ground like 10 times.
I'm completely useless through detox. Every time I've detoxed, like the first day, it's like I'm dead to the world. I'm just sleeping and begging them to give me IV fentanyl, basically.
Yeah. No, I didn't have
And they do.
help
They
me.
do.
So I just had to suffer laying on my bed till it toned down.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
did.
can't even imagine.
I tried. I weaned it off slowly towards the end of it because that's better to do than just stopping cold turkey. Because if you stop cold turkey, it can kill you. So
Yeah.
it probably made the withdrawal a little less intense, but you're still going to go through it at the
Yeah.
end. So, but I know Sabrina was extremely proud of me for doing it, especially knowing that there's still alcohol in the house. But I knew it's like, yeah, well, for one, it wasn't even mine. So if I were to choose to drink that, that's just basically saying I don't give a fuck about this place or nothing, or I don't respect other people's things. And I'm just gonna die an addict if I keep going. So I can't do it. And it's pretty much the most basic, simple rule I've applied to my life right now. Don't drink. That's it. And
Yeah.
everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, you have to, it's a commitment that you have to make every single day for sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
still have moments where I think about drinking, but I just have to immediately stop it and just catch that first thought, because that first thought grows into thousands more telling you to drink, telling you to drink. And if you don't, just nip it right as soon as you hear it and try to figure out why it is you've even thought about drinking in the first place. Somebody told me this trick, and it's worked for me, that if you feel like drinking, then you're either hungry, tired, or bored. So either have something to eat, have a nap, and you'll probably feel better.
Yep.
And I do that all the time. If I feel like drinking, I'll just take a nap. I'll clock out to the world if I have to. I will turn my phone off. Drinking made me so angry. Yeah, drinking would make me really, really angry too.
Yeah.
I
It can definitely,
definitely,
it can
yeah,
definitely bring out an aggressive side to you that you didn't think existed. It's a primal thing that happens
yeah,
because
yeah,
the way it affects your brain and how you process information, you enter like fight or flight, essentially. When you black out, you, well, or as I like to put it, cry or pry. Like, you're either going to
it,
be extremely upset or you're going to be just pissed off, thinking everybody did you wrong. And yeah, it's
yeah. It definitely, all we know for sure that it 100% causes emotional dysregulation. You cannot regulate your emotions when you're drinking because it's turned off parts of your brain. I'm pretty
yep.
sure it turns off that fight or flight.
Oh,
I could be wrong. Somebody can check on that, but
when you're
it
drunk,
turns off a part of your brain so that you're not even responding, actually. You're just like on autopilot.
yep.
84 days sober today. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I've seen some updates on your post, Caitlin. I'm very proud of you. You know, and word of note, Caitlin, and please do not take it the wrong way. But when I first was seeing your post that you quit, even though I wanted to be happy, there was a part of me that was just like, well, whatever. Like, because I was still drinking. I was still in
Yeah,
the mindset of being like, well, whatever.
I would be like
I'm
that
not gonna
too.
quit, But now that I've been sober for over a couple of weeks, completely cleared up, and I'm very proud of you, and you help inspire me, just like anybody who's quit has managed to do. Sabrina was honestly probably the biggest factor. Like when she got clean, because I got clean before her initially. Then
Yeah,
she stopped. And I went back to it once
yeah,
after everything happened, and I think Sabrina respected that about me. She knew that I was gonna have to do it eventually on my own, and because I know Sabrina, you were extremely worried at one point. 'Cause
yeah. I was. It was when I started talking to you about coming down to see you, and I said maybe we could go get lunch, and you said, no, I'd rather just stay home. And I immediately picked up on it and was like, that's because he wants to drink. And
well,
he's worried that he won't be able to drink the amount he wants to when he gets to that restaurant. Because I used to do that. If I had to go somewhere, like even to go get, like, say somebody asked me to go get my nails done when I was drinking.
yeah,
No fucking way. Because I can't pick up my drink.
yep,
So I picked up on that with
that's
you.
really deep in the trenches with it. When you can't even go like an hour, it's like
Yeah, no, I couldn't go an hour. I would wake up in like in the middle of the night and go chug alcohol and go back to bed
Yep.
multiple times during the night because I was going through withdrawal.
I know how
But
great.
yeah, I was worried about you, but I never ever wanted to preach at you or tell you that you had to get sober to be in my life because that's
Right.
not what family does, in my opinion. I wanted to tell you more about our family history and tell you about all the family members who had died of alcoholism and just show you the pattern of our family. Because if you look closely, you'll see that each generation, the age in which they die basically gets cut in half. So our grandmother, for instance, she died at 61. Our mother, she died at 37. I almost died at 30, and you're 30. So I was like, my
Yeah.
brother ain't dying on my watch. I would never, ever let you go sit in a hospital and go through detox or let you sit in a hospital and almost be dead from addiction and let you walk out of there without a plan to be sober. Or I guess I couldn't force you into that, but the bottom line is I wouldn't let you be there alone
Right.
because I was. And that was my own doing, right? I didn't tell anybody where I was or anything, but I just would never ever want you to be in that position because it's it's too much for
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah. It's extremely demanding and dangerous to go through, and and again, it also, it forces you to confront the darkest parts of yourself that was suppressed when you were drinking. Because again, when you're in that state of mind, it doesn't. You're not there. Like you're gonna say things and do things that you wouldn't do if you were sober.
Yeah.
You're just completely oblivious to all of it, which is why a lot of times when I would get shit faced, I would just have to absorb myself into whether it was a movie or something, to allow
Yeah.
my to not focus on the negativity and just try to enjoy something. So
Something mindless. Yeah. I do that a lot. I had the habit of getting really, really drunk and playing super sad music like
yeah,
Amy Winehouse or Alice in Chains, which that's what my shirt is. But like listen to sad music and just fucking cry my eyes out and do literally nothing else. Just sit at a table with a drink and cry. Like what kind of life is that?
not much of one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but
It's unfortunate. It is.
yeah, we'll probably have like a more dedicated stream about alcohol in the future. I mean, it's going to get brought up a lot because it has to, because it's
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should ask the audience, like, what do you guys want to hear more from us? Like, what topics do you like hearing us talk about? What is the most interesting stuff
yeah,
we've talked about so far, in your opinion?
yeah. If you got questions for Sabrina or
Yeah,
myself,
or questions. Yeah, ask us questions.
yes. But being able to be reunited with Sabrina though last week was one of the greatest moments of my life, without a doubt, if not the greatest. So
It was completely amazing. I
we're
was really
dedicated.
worried. I was really worried that like I wouldn't know how to I like my head was just blank the whole drive down, but
Oh yeah, it felt like a
once
dream.
I saw you, yeah, once I saw you, I just couldn't help it. I just started crying because it was like, oh my God, I actually have my brother like next to me. It was really surreal.
Yeah, it's like, and I knew it was gonna feel weird just because, gang, it's just so long, but it was all it all turned. I cannot talk. It all turned out for the best, and it was amazing. Got to spend some good amount of time with her. We got to go through a bunch of old photos, a lot of which you hadn't seen,
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. All those pictures of Michelle's wedding.
and you got to get your own copy of her journal, so that way you could read it.
Yeah,
And then we got to go out to eat and have a great meal at my favorite restaurant, and it was great.
it was.
Got
And
to
we
meet.
need more of it.
Yeah,
Do I have a feedback? Can you hear mine?
I don't think
Maybe
so.
not. Okay. We definitely need to see each other more, and I definitely want you to come stay on the boat this summer.
Oh yeah,
I think
like I said, I
it'll
would
be
love
really
to.
fun.
we could work out, maybe I could hop on the boat with you guys for like a week or so. I could bring my setup and,
Yes.
and yeah,
It'd be
maybe
so fun.
I'll bring my dog along. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If I can get him up those steps, he probably would be fine. But
Yeah, you just have to carry him.
be
But
interesting.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
see.
figure. But either way, we're definitely going to meet up more because I'm going to be in Portland more, probably. And it's like an hour and a half away. It's wonderful to hear about your reunion, and it's great to hear from your individual walks through this and your honesty.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like we both were saying, Jake and I have had very similar experiences, but still different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like we both got opposite sides of a coin.
I
You
was
know,
gonna say that, yeah.
something like that.
We both, we both, we both have experiences with DHS.
Yeah.
And we both became alcoholics.
And our mother was not a fan of DHS. That was like her
Oh,
mortal enemy.
yeah,
So, she told me all the time when I was staying with her, which there will come a future stream where I'm going to talk more about my experience of living with her. But
yes.
yeah, because that's a big talk.
And that's the big difference between you and I. Jake was able to be reunited, but
Twice.
I destroyed that chance. I had the opportunity, sort of, but not really because Michelle was in Bangor and I was in Fort Kent at the time when
Yeah.
her and I started messaging. And I had no car, I didn't have a license, and neither did Michelle. She didn't have a way. Michelle and I never even approached that, like, let's meet up sometime. I never even gave her my phone number or anything. I kept her at arm's length,
Yeah. Well, this is just, you were protecting yourself because you were unsure. And I did too for a while, when she was reaching out to me before I moved back in with her. I was very hesitant. I didn't know what to think. But, like I said, what I would give to have a conversation at my current age now, I would.
I feel like
I
you
would just
saved her
tell her.
life, Jake. I feel like you are the reason Michelle ever got sober at all. You're the reason that she was able to come back to Maine. You kept her alive. You know, I believe that. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. Oh, you started reading it too. That's awesome. Lauren, you were living in Fort Kent in 2010. I was still in high school at that time, but our mother passed in 2014, and I was in Fort Kent at the time. Lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anybody up here. I just moved up here and went to the university until I flunked out. Once Michelle died, it was like a week after she died, I stole a bottle of alcohol and I got nailed for it. But it was right around then that my drinking really started taking off after she died. And some pill usage.
Yeah. And part of probably the biggest part of recovery, is acknowledging your use and acknowledging that,
Yeah.
it did control you. Because a lot of alcoholics or addicts in general are in a constant state of denial, which is why they always go back to it, or they, before they do eventually fully stop. Their relapses are contributed to the fact they hadn't fully tapped out yet. And I
Yeah.
actually heard this when I went to a meeting discussing addictions, where it was basically like you're putting it on standby mode because you realize, all right, you put yourself in a hole, you need to get yourself out of it so you can put yourself back into a position where you can do what you need to do, but also, if you so desire, drink again.
If
That
you
hit
so
me.
desire.
That hit me really hard when I
Sorry.
heard that. It almost felt like a premonition that I was going to end up using again, and then I was going to know why I was using again. And
Ah, yeah.
put two and two together, not long after I was drinking again, and I was like, I think I get it now. And that, but I wasn't ready to quit. It took everything in me, but reconnecting with Sabrina was definitely the biggest part in why I was able to quit and do it successfully, even though it was rough. you know, and I knew it was going to be rough. I knew what awaited me.
Yeah.
It's,
And you still did it. I
you know,
gotta
and
plug my
I
phone in.
kept busy, you know, and here I am now. I'm taking care of myself again. I'm repairing relationships that I thought were damaged forever because of my use. And now I'm
Sorry, I just need to
live.
plug in my phone.
Oh, you're all good. And now I'm successfully live streaming on Twitch, which is one of my big passion projects. I'm doing a podcast with my sister after reuniting with my sister. It shows, and I'm not trying to come off as like a big spokesperson here, but like it shows that recovery is possible and that you can get better.
Yes.
You know, it starts with a complete, honest decision. You have to have a conversation with yourself. You know, and this is a good reference from a movie I love. Think about if you were to meet the future version of yourself, a much older, wiser person. You know, what would that person tell you? Saying, you realize what you're about to do? You know, you realize the path you're going on is a path that once you're too deep into it, there's no escape. It's like you have the chance now. You have the opportunity right here, right now to stop and get your life to where it needs to be so you can be the person you wanted to be when you were a little boy or a little girl. You know, think about the person you wanted to be when you were a child. Think about who you're
Yeah.
becoming.
And that is true. I had to think of that a lot too. Like, what were the things that made me happy as a kid? So, like, doing art, reading books, writing books, just creating in general. Like, those are always my favorite things as a kid. Ever since when I read in the DHS file that my future goal was to be an artist, I almost like burst into tears because I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, like, I am doing the things that I wanted to be when I was a little kid. It took me a long time to get to be this person that I am today, but I did do it. And I mean, it actually didn't really take that long to clean up my act. I've been trying to be sober and stay sober since I was 25 years old.
Yep.
Took me 5 years of just figuring it out, figuring out why I kept relapsing was the biggest. And really, it's just asking yourself the question why over and over and over again. Why does this make you upset? Why does this? Why does this? Why does this? And finally, that asking that question led me to Michelle.
Yep.
I just, it was so painful that I just avoided everything that reminded me of Michelle all the time. Or anybody who would ask me about Michelle, wouldn't tell them.
Yep.
But then I would do these things like write messages to Michelle even though she was dead, or write letters to her in my journal, or I was still thinking about her all the time. So it was like all this sadness and like pain that I had for a mother who wasn't here. And then I still couldn't even talk to you about it, Jake, because whenever you tried to talk about Michelle, my instinct was to protect you. And that instinct of protecting you, I guess I reverted to how people tried to protect me when I was a kid, which was telling you that she didn't love you. I can remember saying that to you, and now it's like, why would I ever say or do that?
In our dark moments, we say things that we really, truly don't mean. I think deep down, you're just coming from a place of frustration, and
It's like I was trying to convince myself more than I was trying to convince you.
yeah, that happens a lot with people that don't
Yeah.
know how to, you know, maintain their composure. But you know, I've admittedly, you know, struggled with relationships in all forms in my life. You know, whether it
Me
was
too.
past girlfriends or relationships with family members or just friends too. You know, and I always had,
Everyone.
you know, and the
For me.
fear of them abandoning. You know, and I always wondered why is it I'm so bothered by all this, and then it start tracing it back. You know, I felt like I was abandoned as a child by my mother, which looking back at it now, there's a lot more to the story, of course. But
Yeah.
growing up, that fear was still there. you know, knowing that I got my family ripped from me and there's nothing I could do about it because I was a little boy, you know.
Right. The
I
loss of
was,
control.
yeah, I wasn't even 5 yet. Like, I was really young.
Yeah. Do you remember anything like from that day? I can't remember. You do a little bit or no, you don't remember anything?
I this personally don't remember it, but from
Yeah.
what Michelle told me about it, all she said was that she got back from whatever was going on. I don't know what she was doing, but Jimmy had already taken Abby, so they were gone. But it was that you and Nicole, our oldest sister, was in the van or car, whatever it was, and that they were putting me in, and I was screaming basically bloody murder for my mother, you know, and she was nothing she could do, and we were taken away. And then, yeah. And I do remember only because you brought it up not long ago, saying that she like visited us in the office or whatever, like maybe once.
Once. I think it was the day she came to sign away her parental rights because I know it was really soon after I was put in foster care. And I saw in the DHS file that she signed away her parental rights on November 11th, 1999. So that was 11 days into foster care. So that's probably when she saw us. She saw us one last time as she signed away her rights.
Yeah,
And
which
she only signed away her rights because she was completely backed into a corner. And I mean, she did have the option of Margot taking us, but she didn't want that because her childhood wasn't good. She
yeah,
was forced into a church that abused her,
it's very awful things.
a church that sexually abused her and then denied it and then put her through an exorcism.
Yeah,
So
not
she
so.
wanted her kids kept out of church, our mother.
Yeah,
But then, I mean, DHS loved that I was going to Sunday school in my foster home, so it doesn't matter what the mother wants. You know, DHS just picks whoever they want.
it is the reality. Sorry, I'm just have to put my
No,
phone.
it's good.
Mm, hopefully, I can make it
And
work.
a lot of these homes that DHS chooses are no better than the home that they just ripped the kid away from. Case in point, me.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows if things would have been better if, like, I could have stayed with Michelle, you know, or if all of us could have. If all of us could have stayed with Michelle, what really would have happened? Probably. Most likely, Margot would have taken us in, and Michelle hopefully would have gotten clean. At least she would have had a reason to live if her kids were at her mother's, her stepmother's.
yeah,
But that we also know that that is not always the case. Like addicts don't always get clean for their kids. The disease is a little bit too deep for that. But maybe she wouldn't have got on heroin. There's all kinds of what ifs that we could say. We could play that game all day. I drive myself crazy doing that sometimes.
yeah. I fall into that rabbit hole, and it's hard to get
Yeah.
out and do it.
It's just
Which,
like what if, what if, what if, what if I could have stayed with my dad? What if I could have stayed with my grandparents on my dad's side? What if I could have
yeah,
gone to a group home? If I could have, you know, gone to a group home, man, at least it would have been fucking cameras.
yeah, and yeah, you just have to be so careful when you dwell on the past. And like I said, my past has like controlled me for a very long period, and you know, it's like now I'm finally sort of escaping that shell. I feel like a hermit crab. You know, it's like
Me too.
you're like finally getting out of like this what seemed like forever, this piece of yourself that you didn't know how to get through. You didn't know how to get out of. You know, it's yeah, it's so complicated. But you know, because I spent because my teens were such a blur. Well, not a blur, but they were just. I felt like I was a little kid in my teens, whereas my 20s, I felt like I was a teen. You know, and now it's like I'm. It's like I just skipped 10 years, and now I'm actually feeling more my age all of a sudden. It's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that's how ridiculous my 20s were. Not that there wasn't a lot of awesome, fun moments in my 20s. Some with booze, some without booze. But I'm 30 now, 31 in a couple months, You know, and I feel like I'm at that crossroads right now, as you are, and you have been, you know, where we just have to look forward and stop looking, you know, at everything, you know, learn from it, of course. But we're
Yeah.
past the point where we feel we're controlled by that. Because
Yeah.
all it is, alcohol feels like something evil that was put onto this earth for the people that just wanted to feel awful all the time and wanted, yeah, just,
Alcohol is great at like masking some pains at first. It's a great pain reliever at first.
yeah,
Just like the Oxycontin that our mother did. That was a great pain reliever at first. Then it tore apart her entire body.
yeah,
And I guarantee that when she started snorting pills, she said to herself that she would never be a heroin addict. I guarantee she said that she would never shoot up. That's
yeah,
what everybody who gets a heroin addiction, an IV heroin addiction, they never plan for that. Just like we never planned to drink ourselves into a grave, but we almost did.
yeah.
I mean, my first like beer, I was like, this is disgusting. Who would ever want to drink this? And then I'm sneaking it into work to drink. Like, uh,
You don't think about long term, you know, because
yeah, no, I never did.
when I was younger, when I would, you know, someone said like, "Oh, that guy's an alcoholic" or whatever, you think of like a homeless guy, like on, you know, like on the street, or
Yeah, yeah,
some completely lost everything and is just in shambles, living outside. It's like, no, alcoholism is so much deeper than that, man. Like, there are
people
some,
would like people would make jokes to me. They'd be like, oh, when I was like maybe 19, 18 or 19, they'd be like, oh, Sabrina, you're such an alcoholic. And we'd all laugh and be like, yeah. Or like guys would say to me all the time, like, you can outdrink every single guy at every single party. That's awesome. And it's like, well, at least I'm good at something, or at least people
yeah,
notice something about me because I always just felt like a
yeah,
freak everywhere I went. I felt like a complete alien.
yeah,
I
back
didn't
when,
fit in anywhere.
yeah, very relatable. And back when I was like doing more the partying kind of drinking, it was the same thing. Like everybody else would tap out, and I would just keep going. I keep drinking
Oh
after
yeah.
over and go home and keep going until I pass out.
Me
Like, and I
too.
thought it was like superpower. It's like, oh, I'm tolerant. I'm a badass. Like, no, you're a fucking alcoholic.
You're a fucking alcoholic. Yeah. I can
uh,
remember like lots of time. By the time I was probably 22, like my friends would start saying stuff like, Sabrina, it's time to like slow down or clean up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
like
And I
party.
just saw it as they were like killing the party. They weren't the people I wanted to be around. I wanted to be around people who knew how to party.
Yeah. It's,
Enablers. I wanted enablers around me, not
yeah,
people who are going to challenge my thinking. I didn't want those people around.
yeah, because that's a big problem I've had in the past too. It's more so when I was younger, but even still, as I got older, you know, you have a hard time taking orders from others, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
you let me make my own choices. That's how I've always been. I've been very independent in that sense. But part
me too. I don't
part of
know.
it is recognizing your own worth. Something I wasn't doing. I just felt like, oh, I'm just going to stay the same forever. That's my goal in life, is just to barely make it, just have enough to live, you know, and just kind of strut along, keep it out of other people's business, just kind of being AFK. You know, like you're there, but you're not.
Yeah, just existing. That's what I would like view it as is like I'll just get through the day however I can and just I would, I'd keep a wall up between me and the rest of the world. Like don't make eye contact with people, don't sit near people, don't have conversations with people. Just stick to yourself and stay in your room as much as possible.
Right. I love being in my room. You know, it's kind of like my
I do
lair.
too. I
It's
still love to self-isolate.
you know, just because streaming is a fun activity. And I like it darker. So I'm kind of always been sensitive to light anyway, as of you.
Me too.
Oh. It's not because we're weird. It's not because we're vampires. It's like we just don't really like bright lights. So,
Yeah, I remember like when I was in the psych ward the first time, it was like my first meeting with this huge table of doctors. There was like maybe 10 people at this big table, fluorescent lights, and they're like, "Why do you have anxiety? What gives you anxiety?" And I was like, "This situation I'm in right now is giving me anxiety. These look like fluorescent lights and all the people looking at me, I don't like that."
No, it's just being put
Even
in
just
certain situations that you ain't comfortable with is a big trigger for anxiety.
Yeah, even just working in an office, like working in an office with fluorescent lights and just people always walking by my desk and being like, "Hey, how are you? Tell me everything you did this weekend. Tell me your whole life story." Like I just I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah,
I am not a
yeah.
traditional job type of person. Waitressing and bartending I liked, but I was making like $40 a day sometimes. Like you can't live off that.
No,
Not up here in the county.
no, and that's a big thing. And that's something I realized as I got older. It's like I clearly like just, and I've always felt this way, but I just worked regular jobs because what else could I do?
Yeah,
And
it's like what else is there?
I always felt that pull. That's like I don't think I was really meant to do a regular job. You
Yeah.
know, felt like I was always meant for something a little bit more than that. Something where I can utilize the talents that I've been gifted. Because all of us are gifted with some ability that there's always something that we can do better than almost anyone else. And if you
Yeah.
don't utilize that ability, if you don't tap into that side of you that wants to do more with what you have, you're wasting your life. So, because life is short, so you
Yep.
got to have some sort of goal setting, journey, whatever it is you want to call it, that you can drive yourself towards, which is what I'm doing with
Yeah,
everything.
you sound like Chad. My boyfriend Chad. When I first met him, he was like, "You've got to have a goal. Like, what are your goals?" And I'm like, "My goal is to have this drink." I don't know. Chad really changed my whole way of thinking,
Yeah.
especially when it came to entrepreneurship. I always kind of rolled my eyes at people who are entrepreneurs, and now I met Chad and I was just like, dang, this guy like has the whole life thing figured out.
Yep.
So I was lucky to have Chad when I was getting sober to protect me, I don't know.
Yeah. I 100% get that.
Yeah.
Really great meeting him too. I definitely would love to talk
Yeah.
to him. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm definitely grateful for what he's done for you, because he has helped you just as much as I could have. He's helped a lot.
He he was so supportive of this book idea. Like I've been wanting to write a book for years. And when I got sober the first time, I was sober for like off and on for a couple years. I wanted to write the book, but the guy that I was seeing at the time was like, "Don't do it. It'll ruin your life. Nobody will believe you." He said all of the wrong things. So I was like, okay, I guess I won't write a book. But
Right.
Chad was like, "Oh my God, you have to do it. Write this book." And Chad was really supportive of my jewelry business too. Whereas the guy I was seeing before years ago, when I brought up my jewelry business, he literally said to me, "Do you actually think you're gonna make any money off this shit?" I've made a substantial amount of money off my C-class jewelry, and I didn't do it for years because some loser told me not to. Instead of just listening to myself or having a supportive partner.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got Chad, it was like, damn, someone actually believes in what I want to do, and they think it's a good idea and they think it's cool. I don't know. It was just awesome to finally have, because I've always picked guys who reminded me of my adopted dad.
Yeah.
Belittling, emotionally abusive, narcissistic, all of those things, physically abusive. Not that Will ever was physically abusive to me, but it's one of those things that just correlates to our relationship types.
Remind me of a movie I watched that you've probably seen it before, but it was like a line where the boy, a boy asks the teacher, saying, why this person pick the wrong people to date when they clearly see somebody that's really good for them, right? Or something like that, along those lines. And
Yeah.
the guy tells him, we accept the love that we think we deserve.
It's so true. We really do. I mean, if a guy came around that treated me right, I'd be like, ugh, I don't know what to do with this. This doesn't feel like love to me. Love has to feel like crazy and passionate, and
My relationship,
passionate equates to abuse. I don't know.
yeah, Wallflower, yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's a good movie. Very
Oh,
underrated.
yeah, that's a great movie. It was a
Yeah,
good book too, actually.
yeah, I should read the book. But it's very true, and like a lot of my past relationships were just toxic, with very toxic people, women that didn't want any good for me, and yeah, and
That needs to change.
I was used to the chaos, I thrived on it. I loved the unpredictability. It was like a rush,
Yeah,
and but then
yeah.
once that rush fizzled out, I was done. I tapped out, and
I'd run for the hills.
yeah. And the last particular relationship I had was the most serious it could have been, but because of my self-sabotaging, me thinking that I just don't deserve this or whatever, yeah, I ended it. And I spent a long time angry at myself for that because she was a good person. But things happen, there's nothing I can do about it now, except been what I've been doing, especially now that I've kind of kicked the bottle to the side, focusing on my well-being, what I can do better, learn to love myself again, which I've gotten a lot better at. So that big thanks in part to you, and of course my inner circle that's been supportive to me, and now
Yeah,
we have where we can talk more openly about it, and
yeah,
that's what we both want out of this. It's not just about us. It's about what we can do for everyone else that's going through, whether it's addiction or foster care or just trauma or anything. It could be literally about anything, really. You
yeah.
know,
I agree. Like,
we want to be a platform that's been failed by the system, but is sticking our middle finger at it and saying, what, we're in charge of our lives now. So,
yeah. I mean, can we just call our podcast "Fuck the System"? Is that allowed? Probably not. But that is really like the thing. I mean, I hate all systems. I think all systems in our country pretty much suck. The big pharma, jails, detention centers, hospitals,
yeah.
mental health, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't personally, I don't know, I don't really see reform in our future. I just see a lot of angry people finally coming together. And at the very least, at least hearing what other people are going through is comforting. It really is. Like if you're going through that same situation. Because, I mean, what's the first thing you do when you have a symptom? You Google it, right? And you look for what other people have experienced. That's what I did. I knew that I was bipolar before I was ever diagnosed with it because I read so many books on bipolar disorder and watched so many documentaries and
The
videos and
Jakey and Venus show.
Jakey and Bina show. Michelle would love that. I don't
Both
know what we'll call it. I like
of
Jake and Bina. Jake and Bina. I would totally go for Jake and Bina show. That kind of has a roll of the tongue.
yeah.
Jake and Bina.
Jakey.
Yeah, Jakey, maybe not. Jakey.
Old for the Jakey Heidi, but the Jake maybe.
Jake, Jake and Bina. I like it.
Yeah. We'll definitely put that on the list.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do some pretty cool stuff with this podcast,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
I wonder, I don't know how many views this has gotten so far, but
I'm pretty good. I'm happy to laugh about that. No, I'm super glad that we've had some people in here, and it's awesome. You guys taking the time out of your day. I'm sure a lot of you are really busy with everything going on in the world, but the fact that you're able to take the time to come and watch us give a crack at this, you know.
Yeah, this was a good practice run.
Yeah, it's been very fun, and we'll keep going till at least 8. But yeah, like I said, if you guys got questions, ask them now.
Yeah, ask away. Any
I
questions?
I don't think we
Have,
have like
have you
any.
eaten? Have
What's
you
that?
eaten dinner, Jake?
No, I just had some cheeses.
I
I was
haven't
like,
either.
well, I
I'm
don't.
starving.
Like, I'll just snap something. Hold me
I
over.
would totally eat some Cheez-Its. I've had like a million cookies today, chips, crackers. Like I've not been eating good at all.
The junk day.
Junk day. I've been
I
having
have
more and
those.
more of those lately.
You know what? Better to eat junk than drink booze. So,
It's true.
hey, no hangover. So,
Right. Sugar doesn't send me to rehab.
exactly. So proud of her sobriety. Yeah, I'm very proud of her sobriety, and of course, I'm working on mine. It's a process. It'll take me a while, but what's great about especially the time that I quit, was the fact that it was on Michelle's birthday, which again would have been her 50th. So now every year moving forward, it won't just be her birthday. It'll mark the year that I've been off the bottle. So that it gives me a much extra incentive. What went from being a sad day every year can now be a happy day.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it as, and I told you this, Sabrina, from a spiritual perspective, I felt like I was really meant to quit on that day. And that would be my permanent birthday gift that I could give to her for the rest of my life. So,
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful, honestly. It's pretty amazing. And I truly believe that Michelle knows, you know?
like I've told you, I do believe in some sense that she is our guardian angel. So,
Yeah.
and even though I spent a lot of years, especially later years, being very mad at her because I felt like it was all her fault, but now she was just extremely misunderstood. She had a lot of problems, like we all do, but hers was a lot more extensive.
And yeah, she was just like very isolated. I mean, being in detention centers by the time you're a teenage, like she was like 14, going
Yep.
through an abortion in a detention center with no mental health support. I mean, totally set up to fail.
Yeah. What a wonderful gift. Yeah, thank you, Kathy.
It
That was
is.
kind of
It
what
really
I
is.
wanted. Because like I said, it wasn't necessarily planned that way until like it got towards the end of it where I was like, I just realized I'm gonna run out on her birthday. Like that's where I'm gonna be drinking the last of what I can. Knowing what awaited me, but also knowing that at some level she would be right there with me to get me through it. So
I think that was a synchronicity,
yeah.
running out of alcohol on her birthday. No.
Yeah. Because like I said, I looked in the mirror and I just realized I was becoming exactly what she became. Maybe not with drugs, but alcohol is a drug. So
Yeah,
one
it
of the
is.
worst. So that's
Yeah,
something.
addiction is addiction.
Yep. Alcohol and heroin are like the two drugs that can literally kill you from withdrawal. So
Heroin cannot kill you, but
really?
benzodiazepines can. Yes.
Oh, I thought you could die.
Benzodiazepines. Nope.
Hmm.
I suppose you could go into cardiac arrest or anything. Have either of you had contact with the other siblings? There's Nikki and another sister, correct? Yes, I choose to. I want to protect my oldest sister's confidentiality, but yeah, we do have another sister. She's younger. Her name's Abby.
Yep.
I mean, Jake, that's up to you if you want to talk about
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I
I
haven't
just
spoken.
don't want to
Uh,
get myself into trouble.
spoken to Nikki in quite a while, but yeah, Sabrina, obviously, I'm talking to, but Abby, yeah, we've talked to her a few times, and we don't talk to her too much, but when we do, it's always good. It's always lovely, and
Yeah,
I've definitely, and we're hoping we do this. We plan on spreading Michelle's ashes this summer, so
yeah,
we're hoping we can get some family together, especially people that knew Michelle. That's like an open invitation to anybody that wants to be part of that, because this, I'm considering it her actual real service.
Yeah, I
You know,
am too.
I don't know
That
about you. I'm going to plan to write a little speech it's going to be a letter that I'm going to write directly to her that I'm going to read on the
you're
day
gonna
before.
read it.
Yeah. I'll probably write it probably within a week or so once we get everything set in stone. But
Hmm.
and you wanted to do it in Bar Harbor?
I don't know if it's exactly Bar Harbor. I need to look at what I had written down. Seawall I think it's in Southwest Harbor. The seawall. Everybody who tells like Margot and people, they're like, they call it
Is that
that, the seawall.
what Michelle wanted, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was Bar Harbor for some reason, but okay.
Yeah, I did too, but I think it's actually Southwest Harbor.
All
Yeah,
right.
we don't know when yet exactly. We just have to make sure everybody's on board, I guess.
Definitely this summer, because summer is
Yeah.
definitely when you be free. You don't have to worry about weather. So
Yeah.
we'll plan something. We'll probably try to make it, not a sad thing. We'll do what we need to do at the beginning, but then, maybe stick around, like have like a late lunch type deal or something. Whatever. We'll put
Yes.
something together. Be a celebration for her and her life.
Yeah. I just want it to be, I don't
Yes,
know, special. In a way, I'm like selfish and I'm like, I just want it to be us.
it can be, and we can do something afterward.
But I just
If
don't think that's fair. I think it's a great time for everybody to come together and love Michelle. Like, I shouldn't be so selfish about it. I
well,
just, I don't know.
I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, but or maybe here's an idea. Maybe we could have it two different spreadings. We can have a little bit where we do together. Then we can have another one where other people can be present. Unless you'd rather do it all at once. It's an idea.
I really
You know,
think that I am good with the idea of everybody being there. I am. As long as like us, if we can just have a moment where we don't have all these people looking at us, like maybe just we can be the ones to physically spread the ashes.
it should definitely be
And
us as
everybody
far as
else just kind of stands back and gives us a little bit of breathing room because like it's a lot it's going to be emotional, I think.
we need to be the ones that spread it, but I
Mm.
don't know the people that were close to her being there for it.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think other people being there is great because I mean, Michelle deserves that, to have people around who loved her
No.
more than just, I don't know, us. Because a lot of people were hurt by this situation too. I mean, yeah, we had it the worst. We lost Michelle the hardest, but there's still other people who were hurt, like her siblings, her aunts and
Yeah.
uncles, her cousins, you know. I've heard from a lot of our extended family this week. Like our great aunt Susan called me yesterday,
Mm.
and I don't know, she's Crow's sister.
Yep. Yeah, I
Have you
remember you
talked
mentioned.
to her?
I have not
No,
spoken to her directly. No.
I don't think I did mention it to you because it just happened yesterday.
Okay.
Maybe I did, but I don't think so.
No.
'Cause who was the other family member that I had heard from? Another aunt. I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people lately.
On you, I have no idea.
Yeah.
You are allowed your time. Yeah. We'll definitely, but like before everything happens, we will for sure take a private moment. Because that'll be our way of connecting with our mother together. It'll be the last time that'll be really a thing where we'll actually physically be doing what we're doing. It will be hard, but
Yeah.
and what makes it a little difficult for me was it's like, yes, I lost her the first time when we got taken away, but then I got reunited with her briefly when I was 12 for like a month when she went to go stay with me and my father briefly after she went through rehab and everything. Then she got taken away again, went to prison. Then I left my father's at 17, went to go live with her and stayed with her, which was one of the best periods of my life. Looking back at it, because she was so happy and full of life when I was with her, except towards the end, of course. But And then, then I lost her the last time. So I lost her 3 times. So it's not easy. And I try to explain it the best I can to people that don't quite get it. Because
Yeah.
it's one thing to lose your mother. It's something that obviously eventually happens to everybody. But for me, it was extremely traumatic looking at it now. Because, especially like in the first week or a couple weeks after she was gone, I barely cried or had any emotion. And then all of a sudden, it just hit me like a fucking freight train.
Probably at first you were like, well, this feels familiar. You know what I mean?
It just
But this
felt,
time, it was final.
yeah, and it didn't really dawn on me that she was gone. Like I wasn't gonna,
Gone, right.
you know,
You were
and
probably in that denial stage for quite a while, I would say.
yeah, and
I
just,
would think.
and I
For
spent,
me, when she died, it wasn't like I was losing her all over again, but it was like I missed my chance. I missed my window. And it was just so much guilt, so much guilt. But that's why I ended up reaching out to my dad.
and then just for you to lose him not super long after that, and
Yeah, he died pretty
it was
quick after.
so a couple of years after.
He was 39, and he was a couple years younger than Michelle. So he died 2 years after Michelle. 3 years, 3 years.
Yeah, it's
And I
unfortunate.
didn't want to believe that. With my dad,
Yeah,
I was like, no way did he overdose on drugs. He was not a drug addict. He did not do fentanyl. I would say that. I was like, he died of suicide.
yeah.
But it was just denial. It's a big part of grief, you know?
It's not something. Like we can talk about it, but sometimes it takes a lot of emotional. I'm trying to find the right word for it. Emotional motivation, I guess, to
Yeah, that makes sense.
have a full-on conversation about it. Which is why I didn't do really well with like group settings, like AA meetings and things like that, because
Yeah.
I felt like it was taken away from what I was trying to do for myself in terms of helping myself. I felt like it was more about or like, it seems like one person would sort of steal the show, and then we're all just left trying to do a better job at explaining our addiction. It's like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
You
You
know, use
needed something more personalized.
Yeah, not that I have anything wrong with AA. It does work for a
Yeah.
lot. It does. So nothing against them, but it's just aligned a little differently in how I, do things.
Yeah.
Same with you, when
Yeah, I never used AA. I've been to AA. I've been to one AA meeting outside of psych wards. And it definitely was uplifting. Like I definitely liked it. And
yeah,
I felt good speaking out, but it isn't something that's going to keep me sober. I know that. What keeps me sober is like building my own community of supports, mostly online. That's kind of why I dove into the social media stuff, is because it just holds me accountable when I tell the whole world that I'm sober. Because I guarantee if I tried to go out to a bar in my town right now, nobody would serve me a drink. I already know that. Nobody would serve me. I mean,
people around here knew how much I did drink, I think it'd be the same thing. Like, nah, man, you ain't getting any of this.
yeah.
Like, you're
Well,
killing yourself.
people didn't know about my drinking until I put that book out there.
Yeah,
I mean, I hid it very, very well
yeah.
most of the time.
And that's the thing. We weren't just alcoholics. We were professionals.
Professionals.
We knew how to hide it. We knew when we could get it, how we could get it, and
Yeah.
it's bad. It will take you the fuck over. Like it has no regard for anything or anybody else once you're deep into it.
Yeah.
That, that's why it's my
It's
mission to make
like
sure that even if we can save just one person from going down that road, like,
seriously.
and I know that probably everybody that does this kind of thing says that, but no, I really do mean it. Like, we can hopefully change a lot of people's lives and show that, us siblings, despite how bad things got, we could still come back from this because we believed in each other. I believed in her when she was deep into it. She believed in me when I was getting through this.
Yeah.
Not just this, but even past times where I quit as well.
Yeah.
And like I've told her and other people that have been understanding of the addiction, you know, every time I quit, I told them I always meant it. When I said I was done, every time I meant it deep down. But you know, it's like I didn't have that shove. There was something still missing from my life, and now I'm realizing it was a lot of it was family was missing from my life. The part
Yeah.
that I never got back,
Yep.
which led to that downward spiral pretty much most of my life. You know, so
Yeah.
now you're back in my life. It's kind of giving me a little bit more purpose again, allowing me to confront my demons, so to speak, and you know, and get right with everything, so I can get back to doing what I love doing and starting new projects, exciting, fun projects that we both have the clear passion for. So,
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that's a big part of it for me too, uh, because it's like if you and I do the show together, it's something that we both have to keep continue to showing up for each other consistently.
yep,
And it's a great feeling having you in my life. And it's, I mean, a big part of that maybe is a little selfish because it's like finally somebody who might have my back. I've never been able to talk to a family member and tell them about my addictions or anything because they would just judge me and treat me like not like a human being for the most part.
I've gone through something very similar to that when I've tried explaining it to people that don't get it, and
Yeah.
they think it's like, oh, you just want to drink, that's it. It's like, no, it's not that I want to drink. It's that I feel like I didn't have a choice but to drink. And yeah, it's difficult to talk about.
Or like they deny the things that happened to make you drink. So like I'm not going to name names, but for instance, I had a family member who I told about a certain abuse happening. I guess I can just say what it is because I wrote about it. But when that guy tried to murder me, I called this family member and told them about it, and they said, "What the hell are you doing hanging around people who tried to murder you?" It was my first time ever being around that person, and if they had asked, they would have known that. But that's what so many people do. They just victim blame and they gaslight and they don't want to address your pain because they probably don't know how to. So rather than just say, I don't know how to express how I feel about your pain, they just try to dismiss it.
Yep.
And then it leaves us feeling shameful and guilty and like a fuck up. So,
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
what cures that better than booze at the time?
Yeah.
It's just a vicious cycle. It's a complete cycle of just shame and guilt, drinking, feeling a little bit better. It's just like around the Ferris wheel over and over and over. And it's exhausting.
It takes a toll.
Takes a
That's why
toll on the people around you. I mean,
it's so draining and suffocating, and then I can see why a lot of people abandon people that become alcoholics because they just feel like they can't do it again. And it sucks,
yeah.
especially with us, with that fear of abandonment. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would be like kind of tricky with my relationships. I would date other addicts, you know. That was the thing. The shame and guilt. Oh man, yeah. That's like the biggest driver of drinking is shame and guilt. It consumes you. At least it did for me, Jake. Like all I could feel was guilt for the things I had done and the things that I hadn't, choices I made when I was drinking. Because when I did drink, I was not Sabrina. Never, not for a minute of it. I was somebody else. My soul was out of my body and something else was inside of me. And
Yeah.
I was nasty. I made really bad choices. I would break laws. I would break huge moral laws and go against my better judgment and go against who I really was
Yeah.
just to keep drinking and doing drugs, just so I could stop feeling guilty and shameful. Like I said, it's a loop and it's a cycle. I would get drunk, do something wrong, wake up hungover, feel guilty and shameful, so I'd drink again instead of addressing the problem head on and apologizing for the things that I had done wrong.
Yep.
Or admitting that I needed help. That was the biggest thing. I did not want to admit that I needed help. It took a very hard fall to finally get diagnosed with any kind of mental disorder. And even then, it got diagnosed wrong because I lied about my symptoms and I lied about how I was actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't get the proper diagnosis for a couple more years. There's a lot of like dishonesty that goes on with addiction. It's just inevitable. You will never meet an alcoholic who tells the truth.
Really?
You will never meet a drug addict who tells the truth.
Yeah. I think you just can't be honest with yourself about how awful you feel, and
Yeah. They'll tell the truth when they're going through withdrawal.
yeah.
They'll let you know exactly how much it hurts.
Yeah, because when you're drinking all day every day for a long period, like you said, it's autopilot. Everything is a blur. You don't remember shit. You remember like the very bits and pieces.
Yeah, the morning drink,
You
basically.
might remember like one stupid thing you said or did or whatever, but like, yeah, you're not remembering anything. It's fucking crazy. You know, and women and men, I think, aren't very different when it comes to addiction either. Like some people say, like,
Yeah.
well, so maybe women are just more prone to it because they can't regulate their emotions, or men do it because they can't talk about their emotions, or
Yeah.
they couldn't be more wrong.
You think that it is all the same. All of us are bearing emotions, even the men, especially the men. But
Yeah, exactly.
especially the woman too. All addicts. That's what addiction is, suppressing emotion.
Yeah, and as a guy, like maybe there was just this part of me that felt ashamed, felt like I was going to be looked at differently for the rest of my life because of the fact that I fell into a vicious cycle. You know, people
Yeah.
be like, he's a weak dude. Like, yeah, he's whatever. He's just going to die an alcoholic. But it's like, no, that's not what I wanted for myself, and I don't want that for myself. So, you know, you learn.
I would just say the biggest label I would always get was lazy. People loved to say that to me. You're so lazy.
I think we
But
just got.
I'd be like working 3 jobs.
No.
And I mean, yeah, I'm drinking through all of it, but I don't know. It's like people don't know how to address addiction, so they just address it with negative labels like that. Like, oh, that person's just lazy. Oh, that person just can't get over it. Oh, that person's just dramatic. That person's batshit crazy. I mean, I've been called it all.
Thank you to you both. This is much needed throughout the state and throughout the country. Thank you, Kathy. That was
Thank you, Kathy.
strong words. Thank you.
But people just there's no compassion for addicts, unfortunately. There's not even compassion for addicts in the hospitals. I can attest to that.
Because all they think is like, you did this to yourself. Why should we feel bad?
But then I go to the hospital because I have a cold or whatever, and they're like, oh, you poor thing. I don't know. I will say that I have a great psychiatrist, and she does a pretty darn good job of keeping me on the straight and narrow, because sometimes I try to argue with her about my diagnosis.
Yep.
And she just makes sure that I keep taking my meds and all that. So it is important to have a good doctor too if you need one. I know that's not maybe relevant to this conversation, but
a good doctor and just a good inner circle and support system.
Yeah, no doubt.
Only the ones you could fully trust, though. You said, you know, you have to try to expand as much as we can to get more out there, to reach out to a more broader audience. Obviously, is the long-term goal. You know, this is just us letting you all know that we got big plans. You know, Big
Yeah, this
plans.
is like
I
the
have,
practice run.
yeah, like I have a big schedule with my streaming because that's a big priority for me right now. And she's doing her writing and keeping busy with the business. But we can still make time. As far as the frequency of how much we do this, we're not sure yet. I would like to aim at maybe once every couple of weeks, maybe
Me too, at
or so.
least. Yeah.
Yeah, like every other week, maybe on like a Sunday night or whatever, or a Saturday night, whichever.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. We'll have to like look at the algorithm and see when is the best time. Because I
Yeah,
want to do it when people are online, you know? I figured Sunday nights people would be online.
yeah. Most people are just kind of hanging out, relaxing before the Monday comes back. So
Yeah. But we'll definitely do it again soon. And I think next time we should really try StreamYard. The only issue is you can't get monetized that way. So I'm gonna think on it some more, but
I mean, I think Facebook's fine for now, but yeah, I mean, we could always do like a test run on it before and see how it does. And if we don't feel like it's really working out, we can just come back to Facebook because I know there's a lot
yeah.
of people here that would love to hear from us that might not use it.
Yeah, because the other cool thing with StreamYard is we can take that. I mean, it'll live stream at the same time on Facebook, but it will also record it so that we can put it right on Spotify and Apple Podcasts
Oh, that's right.
at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So maybe we'll try StreamYard next time just to get a feel of how it works, and hopefully by then we have a name figured out. And I'll make a podcast profile on Spotify and Apple Podcasts just to start getting it out there and start,
Yeah,
having people follow or whatever.
that sounds like an awesome plan.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, but no, it's been really good doing this though, and anybody that's been in here, if it's just a watch, that's fine. But if you did comment or anything like that, super appreciated. I'm glad to
Yes.
see this outreach of support and some understanding. It makes me a little bit more hopeful for our community, knowing that there are still people that care. So, and that's again another big thing for me is I want other people to know that I care just as much as Sabrina does. So,
Yeah. And I
because we,
want you to be heard. I want people to hear your story, Jake, because
yeah,
people have been very supportive of me, and like that comment right there, powerful book. You have a powerful story too.
oh yeah,
Very powerful. I was like talking before you got on here, just about how you have really been like the glue of our family, and you are the best example of forgiveness that I have ever seen. You forgive everyone in our family, and you don't give up on any of them either. And that's been something very rare in our family. So
yeah.
thank God for you.
I guess you could say there's just a big part of me, that I don't know, because of the fact that so many gave up on us, I can't give that same treatment to others. You know, even at times where I wanted to, and there have been people in my life I've had to let go just because it just couldn't work. But when it comes to this is one that hits very close to home, which is why I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to do whatever we can to propel us out there and just have people to show that we care and that we can make a difference in the world, however big, however small.
Yeah. Sometimes those small changes end up influencing the biggest changes, and we don't even know that it's happening. Like the butterfly effect or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you do just one thing and it could totally change somebody's whole day and maybe somehow change their whole life. We just don't know.
Yep.
But, at least we're doing something with our time to create positive change versus doing nothing or doing something illegal or just using.
Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, yes, by all technicality, drinking is legal if you're over 21. I get it. But
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It feels illegal.
feels illegal. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I never used to do good stuff. I never used to give back or
Yeah, same. For the longest time, I felt like I only cared about myself.
yeah,
You know,
me too.
whereas time's gone on, I've realized that's a very sour life to live. Not giving a shit about anybody. Like, it's what goes around comes around.
For
So
real.
that's
Yeah.
I can't live life like that. I gotta.
Ripple effect. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
real. I mean, we don't even know sometimes the impact that we're having on people. Like, I don't know.
Well, and it's one big journey. It's like taking a road where you have multiple different roads you can take, shortcuts you can take, but it all leads to the same destination. And so it's about the choices you make on that road before you reach your destination. Who are you going to be? Who do you want to meet at the end of that destination? Like, it's forgive me if I sound poetic. I have a lot of brainstorming going
No, I love the poetic. Keep the poetic coming. That's what speaks to me the most. I'm a
on. Of
super spiritual person, as you know, Jake.
course. Yeah. Yeah, and but just knowing, at the end of it all, especially if you know somebody that's gone through something very similar, it's extremely important to share that knowledge and that wisdom and the lessons, especially the lessons. You to
Yeah.
know, it's those baby steps. Because nobody is born and just is destined to become that kind of person. It's the result of a lot of failed things that happened. A mix of different traumatic experiences and sometimes good experiences. Some people become alcoholics because they just were happy all the time and they wanted to be happier.
Celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for some people, it's just always a party, but
Yeah.
for others, it's just a prison sentence. So,
Yeah. And for some of us, it's just the only thing we had. It was the only thing that was consistent. I mean, for me, it just,
yeah,
I always lost everything. I just kept losing everything over and over. And part of it was because of my addiction. But regardless, at the end of the day, when there was nothing else around and I was homeless or, flat broke or whatever, the substances were there at least that I had that. That was how I felt.
yeah. It makes you feel less lonely in a world that wants you to feel lonely. So,
Yeah, I was very jaded and rebellious. It was like nobody wants to be here for me, then fuck them. I'll show them what I got, and I will become a tornado and I will destroy everybody because there was just no love. I never had any love in my heart for people.
yeah,
I wanted to, but I was just so trapped in these, living with PTSD destroys your life. That's really what was underlying everything was these emotional flashbacks and regular flashbacks.
yeah. Yeah, not being able to explain it, like especially when you're drinking. Like for me, like when I was coming off of it, it's like all those traumatic things that basically didn't exist if I wasn't doing it become flooding back in, and they're very vivid. And sometimes they would manifest in my dreams, which would turn into nightmares, jolt me
Yeah,
the way.
me
Like
too. Really bad nightmares.
that's why insomnia is the worst part of withdrawal, the worst. Not being able to sleep, it'll make you go crazy, really. Go for it.
Literally.
Feel like you're losing your shit. But
Yeah.
then you start getting a little bit more sleep and it picks up and then you start getting back on track.
Yeah.
But yeah, those first few days they were rough for sleep. But like always I pushed through it. So
Yeah. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to get off now and just plan to meet like in a couple weeks?
yeah, we can. I mean, I'll just throw it out there one more time though, before we wrap this up. If like I said, if y'all have any questions or anything,
Yeah. Ask questions.
now's the time to ask, or if there's anybody in here that anything to say, doesn't have to be a question, but we're here if you want to chat. I'll give a minute or two.
Yeah. What else? Were you gonna stream tonight, Jake?
Well, I was streaming earlier. I don't know if I'm gonna get back on or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like to just sort of chill and watch a show towards the end of the night, but
Yeah, for sure.
it's
I
good.
have I
Good
am
news.
starving. I'm gonna make some dinner.
What you got good for dinner tonight?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Vegetables. Vegetables. I don't know. We had chicken, but Janice put it in the freezer.
Jesus.
So it's just thawing out.
I got too much chicken. I already had a chicken burger earlier today.
That sounds good.
They are good. I love them. You know, you just when your financial means are more limited, you learn to improvise and you start getting more creative with what you make. So
Yeah, I mean, we stick to a pretty strict menu. Like, we buy the same thing every week, just like eggs, yogurt, cheese, chicken,
just the essentials, you know.
vegetables. Yeah,
Yeah. See, I got to work on that. I still,
rice.
because I still, to be fair, you know, like I'm always gonna love chips, and you know,
Yeah.
I do like soda. I only have one a day usually, but still, like, you know, there's some things I need to shake out a little bit as time goes on. But
One
I'm
thing at a
glad
time, dude. One thing at a time.
stopping the booze drinking was the biggest first step.
Yeah. If you want to have like 100 sodas a day right now, do it. Like, you know what I mean? As long as you're not drinking the alcohol right now. I was drinking tons of Monsters and stuff at first and coffees, but I'm good now. I drink coffee now and then, but mostly water.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Debbie. I'm actually going to be speaking tomorrow at I don't know where you're located, Debbie, but I'm going to be speaking tomorrow at Ignite PI about the suitcase drive. I have nothing planned. I'm just going to wing it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really awesome thing that you've been doing with that.
Yeah, we've collected almost 200 suitcases so far.
Awesome.
I can't even believe it. I didn't think like anybody would donate.
Well, you know,
Somebody told me they heard my thing on the radio yesterday, so that was kind of cool.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, being on the news is a big step too.
You know, it didn't really get the response I thought it would. I thought it was going to like bring in a lot of suitcase donations. I didn't really, well, I don't know. I guess I got around 15. Brooke cooked meatloaf. Appointment tomorrow. Yeah, let me know how the appointment goes. I will be praying and sending all the best vibes. I wish I could do more, but
Hmm.
it is very wrong. Everything DHS does is so wrong.
Which is why it's good to take a stand for yourself and bring to light how you were done wrong and what you can do to try at least to ensure that it can not continue to happen to other kids. So,
Oh, this is a situation that's currently happening with one of my best friends in DHS.
yeah,
It's not good, and it's complete targeting.
yeah. Wish there was something I could do. Your books are
Unfortunately, there's almost just nothing you can do with DHS. Like they fucking rule the game, and they know it.
yep.
If you've got I don't know, it's like get a lawyer. I mean, a good one.
Your books are going with us.
A flyer for the suitcases. I do somewhere on, like, I have a digital flyer. Um, I would share it and try to get you more. Yeah, somewhere on my Facebook page, if you scroll back, or just go to Sabrina's Suitcases, that's a page on Facebook, and that definitely has a flyer on there that you should be able to share. And thank you for asking.
All right.
Oh, you're taking my books with you, Patsy? Oh,
That's good.
oh, dang. And they're right in Augusta, so
Oh, okay.
that's their big time headquarters.
Yeah, I love it when I get to go to Augusta. Because
Really?
Rockland's so small. Like, I mean, well, it's not small, but You go to a place like Augusta, it's like, man, you got all these,
Yeah.
like, Jesus.
I lived in Augusta for a little while.
Makes me miss, like, I don't miss the actual town of Ellsworth, but it makes me miss Ellsworth sometimes because they've grown a lot as a town, plus it's my hometown.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Like, they have all kinds of restaurants and stuff. It's like, damn, I just wish there was a little bit more, a little bit more.
Right.
But
It's like Presque Isle. There's just, oh my God, there's just nothing. Like, I don't even want to go anywhere.
and like on one hand, I do love the peacefulness sometimes,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, it's like, it'd be nice to have more things to do. But hey, what can you do? You are where
Yeah.
you are. So
She was calling 1 in the morning, Brooke. Yeah. Good. Good, good, good.
that is good.
Definitely need a lawyer because that's like the only thing. The only way to, I feel like, to beat DHS is to play their own game. And all they're doing is just twisting laws and rules. So if you get a lawyer, it's just like they can counteract that or stop it from happening because we don't know. They're twisting all these laws to make it make no sense. Half the shit they do isn't even legal. It's
That's what
against their own laws. It's against their own laws what they do.
that's where you got me beat. You know a lot more about DHS than I do. So,
And I really only recently started learning stuff because I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't really talk about it till this year maybe. But it's, I was shocked to see how many other people have experienced corruption with DHS. Completely shocked.
it's just an endless friggin' list.
It's every single person that has had an experience with DHS, in my opinion. I have yet to heard one good experience. Okay, I have. My editor mentioned a story to me, but that's hearsay. I haven't heard anybody to have a good experience with DHS, except for the social workers.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot more to figure out as time goes on, I'm sure. So, but that's kind of the thing too. The more we learn, the more we can share with our live streams,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the more we touch up on and give our own opinions on, and as well as continue to discuss what we like to and whatnot. But
yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should just be able to talk freely, like Joe Rogan experience. Just
yeah,
talk. Just talk. And,
hopefully,
people can get to know us.
yeah.
Yes, they do, Patsy.
But
They
on
are tricksters.
but on that note, I think I'm going to wrap up. If you want to stay on for a little bit while longer, you can, just to kind of in case anybody else wants to say anything. But if not,
I
then
Yeah, I'm starving. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, but we definitely have to do this again.
for sure. And this has been actually quite a bit of fun. I've enjoyed this.
Me too.
It's nice. A little bit of an audience get to hear our open discussion. And like I said, Sabrina and I will get more on details about proper scheduling and when to expect us again. But for now, we'll just assume 2 weeks from today. We'll assume. We'll go with that
Yeah,
for now. If that changes, and we'll let you know.
yeah. That sounds perfect.
But we'll be active on social media. So if you want to check in with her stuff, or like I said,
Yeah,
I live streamer on Twitch. Follow me. It's the Believe with a Z, capital Z. If you want to check out my gaming. But aside from that, we'll be here every 2 weeks. So
yeah. And I will also add in that if you want to have one-on-one video chats with me like this, just hit subscribe on my channel and send me a message. I'm just using the subscriber list just as a way to kind of bump people to the priority list because I have a lot of people who are wanting to talk to me about their DHS experiences or anything else that they just need someone to listen to. So if you subscribe, we can do that. Yes, Brooke, talk to me tomorrow.
yes.
Okay,
All right.
so that's all I got. And this was really fun. And thank you, Jake.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
you.
Love you. And again, thank you for everybody that's been tuning in. And we will plan to see you all in a couple weeks.
Yes, couple weeks. Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
All right.